All right, good morning. This is Lucky Lynx. When I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I learned that if when people attack you and your character or your looks or whatever it is, your response can inspire others. And that was really a very powerful thing I learned when I was younger. And something came up on my YouTube comments that I think I was gonna leave it, and I was like, I just usually on my comment section, I just don't like people complaining and criticism, especially from people who don't produce videos, and the people who complain and criticize never have any videos of their own, right? They're not producing anything, but they have something to say. Well, in my last video about the how to take the nutrition from a situation, someone said something to the effect of, speaking of nutrition, it looks like you're getting way too much, and you should basically you're fat and you really need to honestly look at it. And I thought about leaving it for other people to see, so that this could be, but then I thought, wait a minute, this would be an incredible example for people when they're facing a situation where someone else in their life, now this is a stranger who doesn't, whatever, their opinion doesn't matter, but this happens to people all the time in their life with people that it does matter with, like a family member or a lover, or someone will say something to you and people shut down. So I'm going to show you how to handle a situation like this. So the first thing we do is we look at, and I started laying out cards here because I wanted to figure out how I would do this as a process for you guys. So let's say someone comes to you and they have they have criticism for you, and it's not constructive. It just, but maybe it's someone in your life that's close to you, and it affects you, or you find it affecting you. Ask first what the motivation was. Okay, so now in this case, it's the Fool upside down. It was the Fool upside down. And I don't do upside downs, but this one came upside down, so it made me think. Uninformed, A, the person is uninformed, and also wanting to make another person look like a fool. Wanting to make another person look like a fool. I also believe that, because I looked at the person's, actually, you know what, there's another thing I want to say about this. I looked at the person's website, because I always do, to see if people who complain and who criticize have any actual content, if they actually do anything, and they had like a bunch of raw food stuff. I'm going to tell you this too. When I started out and I was doing readings, I had a whole bunch of people, I hate to admit this, but I was kind of pressured into going vegetarian, because people said, there's a whole bunch of people who swore that I would be a better psychic, and it was a very, very bad choice. And the person who, I took a trance channeling workshop, and the person who, and I discovered in that I was a natural, but the person in it was trying to pressure me to be a raw foodist. And I'll tell you something that it was, personally, I thought it was one of the most, it was a very unhealthy choice. It was a very unhealthy choice that left me. There's something about people trying to pressure other people into their lifestyle choices and their bad nutrition decisions these days that I think is, you have to be careful. You have to be very careful in this whole arena. There's a whole bunch of people who think they've got what's right for everyone. And so I'm going to say that I had experience as a vegetarian, and I am not a big fan of these people who try to social pressure other people, because I think it was horribly unhealthy. And I was very good. I made everything. I made my own seitan. I made my own. I had quite a bit of so-called protein, and I work out every day, so I was always in pain. I could not recover from my workouts, no matter what supplements I took, whatever. And finally, when I went back to eating meat, everything was fine. And the funny thing is that in my first trance channeling class, the woman who was trying to pressure me to be a raw food vegan asked me when I was under, and I had this very helpful, over the years I found, spirit that I was working with, who she said, is there anything he needs to know about his diet that he needs? And I think she was thinking he was going to say he needs to, and he goes, yes, he needs meat, which made everyone in the room uncomfortable. Okay, so anyway, so the point is that people are going to come at you from all ways to pressure you into living their life, to validate who they are and their choices. So this is what you do. So what was the person's motivation to make another look like a fool from their uninformed place? Why? The Three of Cups, Schadenfreude, to celebrate their own dominance, victory over someone else, and making someone else look like a fool. So then, how does this person view themselves? And this one is coming up as an authority on health and wellness, and they believe that they are very strong in that. So then I ask, but what is the truth of that person's health? And I've got the Eight of Wands and the Five of Coins, which those of you who know tarot know that would be rapidly declining health, or an unhealthy individual. So the point of this video is to show you guys that you don't have to take someone else's. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if your mother, if it's your father, if it's your lover. And I'm talking about people who matter, because this brought up a really good subject that I thought would be, like I said, when I was a kid, I learned that when people criticize you, whatever, make fun of whatever, you can use that as a powerful tool to inspire others, because you show whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going to continue. Not only am I going to continue to be who I am, but I'm going to show other people how to deal with the situation like this. So this is how you do it. You take a look at, well, what's the person's motivation? How do they view themselves? But what's the truth of that? I've never understood how it is that people allow other people to determine their outcomes, especially when the other person isn't happy. And in this case, the other person's giving health advice and they're not even healthy themselves. So the tarot is an amazing tool for that, to empower you, to help you to figure out what someone else's motivations are and how you use that to your advantage in a situation where you feel yourself pressured or trapped or whatever, and it has been a very powerful tool for me for that, and maybe this gift will help you. I'm Lucky Lynx, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. Don't let social pressure be the thing that moves you. Even if it looks like it's people, like in the case where I was, people were pressuring me to be a vegetarian, I thought they were people who shared my views, and, that's when it's most dangerous. When you lump yourself in with a group of people who you think are like you, and then they start pressuring you to what seems like a good idea. Well, it's like, oh, it'll make you a better psychic. And by the way, it never did. It never did. My psychic abilities soared when I went back to eating meat. So, that's it. That's how you do it. Don't let yourself be social pressured, especially by the people who you think maybe have your best interest at heart, but they really don't. I'm Lucky Lynx, again, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If you'd like to get a reading, maybe something like this is going on with you and you want to get a reading, 779-302-8009. You can also reach me, email at conjurehope@gmail.com. And if you'd like to take a class in the tarot, or a class in crystal ball scrying, or a virtual class in playing card reading, or in Lenormand, I think I got one more. Mexican Loteria. I've got all sorts of virtual courses. Email me or text me for the details, the prices of the courses, etc. And if you like these videos and you want to help keep them coming, I'm going to put my PayPal and Venmo links below. Feel free to donate. And to everyone who's already donated very generously, in some cases, thank you very much. You guys have a fantastic week. Now go out there and enjoy who you are and use your tools to stop other people from trying to pressure you into being who they are.